schools impacted with a lockdown was North Central and Lewis and Clark. Unfortunately, it sounds like other schools may be impacted by an additional hoax. I can't confirm that because I haven't had a opportunity to confer with staff.
What's your message to worried parents out there?
That my heart hurts. My heart hurts as a dad. No kid should ever have to go to school and feel scared or afraid. And unfortunately, there are individuals in this world that set out to do harm, and some of that harm is to create fear and panic. Unfortunately, that is part of the reality that we face in public education is because of technology, because of social media, there are these new pathways to instill fear and panic. And so we'll work very hard, if possible, to determine who's responsible for creating this fear and panic. We'll be working and talking and coordinating with law enforcement around that. Given that there's unconfirmed reports that there may have been something similar in another state, these calls can originate from anywhere, not just in the country, but they can originate from anywhere in the world. So tracking them down sometimes can be really problematic. But certainly my message to families is that we practice, we train, and we prepare for situations that might put our kids in harm's way. And that is terrifying as a parent. But what I can say is all indications are that training, that practice, the coordination with law enforcement, it operated in the way in which we would have hoped it would. And that's from the schools going into lockdown to law enforcement responding so incredibly fast to our schools, to our communication staff here at the district working to get accurate information as quickly as possible. Of course, when you have any indication that your child might be in harm's way, there isn't a scenario in which it's fast enough to get clarity. And so we recognize that, but from what we understand from the time the report came into the district office to the time that we were sending out a district-wide email and text message was around 25 minutes. And one of the things we want to be really mindful of is that the information we are sharing is accurate, and we don't do anything to increase the fear and panic that is occurring. So all indications is that the practice, the coordination, the trainings function the way it should. We'll debrief and evaluate to look for ways to enhance it and improve it even further. But my heart hurts for every parent in our community that this is a reality, not just in Spokane, but this is a reality that our entire country faces.
You mentioned this is a national trend, these calls, for this specific.
Yes, we have heard reports that this is something that is happening across the country where fake calls are coming in. With a term that is sometimes used as swatting, where fake calls are reported to try to elicit a law enforcement response to create fear and panic. We are aware of some other school districts that have faced this around the country. Some members of our community may have remembered that a few years back there was another national trend, not necessarily related to shootings, but at that time it was schools receiving bomb threats. In fact, I was a principal at Sacagawea Middle School when that wave was happening. And so this is not something that is new to schools to have to face, but it doesn't matter whether we've experienced it before. Every time is scary for our kids and for our families and for our staffs. And so my heart goes out to them, and I want to continue to message that the training, the systems, the structures that have been put in place to keep kids safe, to prevent these types of incidences should they ever occur, and also to respond to them. Those are things that are constantly on our mind, both as a school district, but also in partnership with local law enforcement.
And you mentioned, having opportunity for kids to talk to somebody if they need to. Do you bring in extra counselors? How does that work?
We do. We have a team of counselors that are a crisis team, and so there's a variety of different crises that may happen across our schools. And that team has specific training that they utilize to come alongside students when they may have experienced some type of traumatic event, whether that's a small group of students or potentially an entire school that's been exposed to something that is that's scary and traumatizing.
When I was at the school, there was a group of students outside as well while the school was on lockdown at Lewis and Clark. Are those students, are students being picked up, or they told me they kind of just ran out when they heard what was happening at the school?
I haven't heard specific details in terms of students congregating outside. There could have been a variety of scenarios. It could have been kids coming and going. A variety of things may have contributed to that happening, but I wouldn't be able to confirm any specifics regarding why they may have been, a group of students may have been outside.
Would students be excused from school today if they felt the need to leave early due to the events?
We're always working with families to do what they think is best for their student, and so we wouldn't hold any student punitively against not feeling comfortable and wanting to go home and process and be with their family.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
We'll try to keep you guys updated as much as we can.
Are you?
Thanks.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. I figured.
I'm sorry for cutting you off earlier.
Oh, no, you're fine.
Thanks for your time.
Yeah.